Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, before we jump into today's workout, there's a lot of discussion about what is the ultimate movement to prove strength. Now a lot of people are going to think that it's the deadlift, and the reason why that is because the deadlift is overhyped in my opinion, but it is a movement that does require a ton of strength, a ton of skill, and a ton of athleticism. So I'm not dogging it at all. It definitely has its purpose. But a lot of other people wonder, what about the bench press or the back squat? Or what about calisthenics? What about other movements like the Olympic clean and jerk or the snatch? What about those movements? So we have to consider these movements as well. These are definitely strength movements. But which one would be the ultimate test of strength? Now I can only give you my opinion. And since I'm a strongman, I'm a lot more biased about what I believe is a necessary movement to demonstrate somebody's strength. In my personal opinion, I believe the axle, continental, clean, and press overhead is the ultimate strength movement and demonstrates every aspect of strength that you want to see. You're demonstrating your athleticism, your skill, your endurance, but most importantly, your strength. So let's pop into today's workout and I'll explain more. So on today's giant set, I'm doing what I just discussed, which is the axle continental clean and press. Taking it from the ground, stopping midway up, getting it to my shoulders, and then pressing it overhead. And I'm just happy to be doing this after recovering from bicep surgery. And then I was going to do some half Turk get-ups in between. This is a great exercise to do for shoulder mobility and to work your obliques. And I love doing this on my overhead press days because it really gets everything ready to go as the weight gets heavier and heavier to reduce injuries. And I'm going to be doing the assault bike as well for some light conditioning and to get everything warmed up and the joints loosened up so that as the weight gets heavier and heavier, I'll be able to perform at my optimal best. And that's the giant set for the day. Now you can see that that bar is a lot thicker than a normal bar. It's basically like a big giant pipe pretty much. It weighs 30 pounds instead of 45 pounds like a bar. It doesn't have any knurling. It doesn't rotate on the ends, and it's a lot thicker in diameter, about the size of a Coke can. So being able to pull that from the ground and work it up to your body is a demonstration of grip strength, back strength, leg strength, core strength, shoulder strength, and pushing strength and lockout strength. And that's why I feel like this movement is superior compared to the deadlift when talking about a movement that would be able to demonstrate not only that strength aspect, but it also requires a lot of athleticism and conditioning as well. Because as that bar gets up onto your midsection, it begins to crush your midsection a lot. And to be able to hold it there and to be able to endure getting it up to your shoulders and then finishing the movement requires a lot of stamina, a lot of strength, and a lot of athleticism. So that's why I really feel like that this movement is a great demonstrator of overall strength. I mean, a lot of people can just see that as they look at this movement being done. They could see that if there was a wrong move somewhere in there, things could go south real quick. Now, this was my top set for the day. The goal was to do 3 reps total with 210 pounds. And I'm doing it without any equipment and trying to see where I'm at just naturally, without a belt, without wrist wraps, without knee sleeves. It's a lot easier to do this with chalk as well because it'll be able to help with your grip since that thing is so thick and doesn't have any knurling. But I didn't want to do any of that today. On my last video when I was doing the continental clean and press, my bicep was having a hard time locking out and keeping that implement overhead at 210 pounds. So now that I've been training a little bit longer, I wanted to see if I could do 3 reps total. So 3 singles, because I just wanted to see and work on this a little bit more, knowing that I can do it because it was challenging to do last time, but I also want to see if my training has progressed enough. And you'll notice I'm using a double overhand grip in lieu of the mixed grip, and that's because I popped my other bicep doing this movement with a mixed grip, and I really don't recommend that, but this kind of demonstrates a feat of strength with grip as well, because being able to overhand that up to your shoulders is a big testament to your grip strength, and it works your grip strength like crazy. So that's why I'm doing it that way. And I'm not going to switch back over to the mixed grip. And let me tell you something, working that bar up to your shoulders and then finally getting to press it overhead, even if it's a weight that you can press out of the rack overhead easily, you're going to be exhausted by the time it gets up there. So that's why I feel like this is the ultimate strength movement. And lately I've been viewing a lot of podcasts and YouTubers that talk about strength sports that I respect. And they've actually been agreeing with me that the deadlift is a little bit overrated. It has its place, but it's definitely overhyped and overrated. But the Axel Continental Clean and Press is the ultimate strength movement because of its design and the implement that you're using. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Thank you.